Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. We took a much needed break, but now we're back, and of course we have to touch this topic. You get emotional about it because you're a mother and all of that, but
we're here to really give support to the mother, the chaplaincy service and the police involved, and all elements of the police, the community security and safety branch, working with the family as well as the school to give support. And the other side of it, of course, we have all elements of the police involved to track down the perpetrator of this brutal act. It's a tragedy, but an extreme act of brutality, and we have to find that perpetrator of this. So all the investigating teams are on and taking advantage of all this technology available to ensure we can find the perpetrator, and we'll not rest until we find and bring them to justice and bring closure to the issue, which will help the family to at least live through this painful time. There are two other siblings, a little one, 4-year-old, who of course will require support, and will be missing his sister for a long time. The 16-year-old will seem more stronger, but is the one that requires even greater support because she fully understands what's happening and will ensure that they'll not only be this short visit, but in the medium term, the kind of professional counsel required for the family will be provided. I think the elements of the chaplain service will be going to the school and working with the school as well. It's a primary school, so the entire school is feeling the pain and hurting. We're going to work and do whatever is required to give support and find the perpetrator.
Whenever things come to the sense and say, and the crime rate, while some of things, the opportunity are pass weed, and not talk about all this, that, from a country, this government, this blah blah, this, the people, and this. Our ways, with dirty ways, they make we can't go further in our life, people. Why do you feel like we can't go for a country just there at the back of the world? Oh my. We need to march. Make
we just had the news that another child has gone missing, and this is a 13-year-old girl named KHALIAN Clarke at Crescent Lane, Old Brayton in St. Catherine. She's been missing since June the 10th, so this does not look good. We just had the news about the 8-year-old child, Danielle Rowe, and now we're hearing a 13-year-old kid, a girl, KHALIAN Clarke, is missing. So this is sending an alarm bell all over the place. You're in full protective mode at this time because this could be a serial type of event because we're seeing the children going missing. There were children going missing before, but now we're seeing like an uptick, right? Sad thing is, a lot of parents are still not being careful. It's hard to say this, but it's the truth. You see the children walking alone, going to school, little kids, young kids, by themselves, at the bus stop and on the road. You know, sometimes they even get off the beaten path and they're in lonely areas. Things and times have changed, and you have to stop doing things the way you normally do things. Right? It is so painful to see this happening to our Jamaican kids. I think it's time the authorities put out some type of alert to citizens. Jamaican authorities start putting this on your cell phone. In North America, the cell phone goes off and everybody everywhere is aware of this, right? We need not just the news and not just Instagram and TikTok, where people mentions this. We need also the authorities to start putting bulletins on people's phones. The Nanda alert or the Amanda alert. In North America, it's Amanda, and in Jamaica, of course, it's Ananda, named after the kid that went missing. So they have to step up their game now and start putting it out there on billboards and let it come on everybody's phone. An alert system needs to be operating in Jamaica that sends out this alarm to every citizen's cell phone. This is something that we need to sit up and take note of what's going on. Be careful, how you therefore be vigilant. And the school need to create a system where you write down the names of the persons who will be picking up the child, right? The school should not be handing over a child to just anybody or any parent, because the child lives mostly with the mother. If the father is picking up the child, then you have to place a call to the mother to find out if that child can go with the father and vice versa. That is not the normal procedure. You have to notify the parent, the primary caregiver. And it's time that we don't just release the children out like that. It's a system. Get a number, you pick up your child, and of course, the teacher will know the parent as well. But just to have some type of security measure, each parent will be assigned a number. And you call that number, and then the parents step forward. That way, you're not calling out the child's name. So that's another level of protection as well. We can't just release the gate and let the children out. It's different times from when we were growing up, right? It's very sad to hear what's going on. We don't know all the details, and it is very sad. We are hearing that she was taken from the school by a couple, man and a woman, and we don't know all the details. Why aren't we hearing all the details? Why aren't both parents being interviewed? Need to find out what's going on. I mean, people are numb, right? When you hear things like this happening, people used to be screaming and crying, and everybody's just so stoic, right? And because so much death is around, people have become so numb. And you can see it. If you fast forward to like 5-10 years ago, you'll see a mother screaming and crying when her child is missing or her child turns up DEAD. But now you see a lot of composure, and you see people so calm. So much death and destruction around that you have become sensitized to it. Nothing shocks you anymore. Nothing scares you anymore. We all saw the 5 that passed away brutally, right? I just got an alert on my phone, right? And it says that this little girl has been missing since June 10th. So where is she? Parents, you have to now walk your children to the bus stop. You have to make sure your child goes into a bus. And I would be very careful in taking taxis. Know the drivers, right? Because there's a percentage of kids that are being taken by certain that are operating taxis, whether they're doing it legally, pretending to be taxi drivers, or they are taxi drivers and carrying out these brutal acts. We don't know. But we've seen so many abductions with taxi drivers involved, right? Quote unquote taxi drivers. Sometimes they are legit, sometimes they're not legit taxi drivers. So you have to be cautious. Don't say that it will never happen to me or my kids, because you never know the minute, the hour. You have to be vigilant now. Parents, I see kids going across this makeshift bridge with a river under it, and the children are released out of the home. They're sent out of the home knowing that they have to cross this dangerous river. It's so mind-boggling to know that the children have to go through this, right? So there's a desperate search on for KHALIAN Clarke. Last seen on Saturday. She was on Saturday, June 10th, right? So they need to give the public more information. She's dark complexion, slim build, 5 feet 8 inches. Reports from the Portmore police are that 6 p.m. KHALIAN was last seen in Greater Portmore in the parish wearing a red blouse, black pants, a pair of pink slippers. She has not been heard of since. Please want you to call 876-989-0623 or 119. That's the emergency number or the nearest police station. This is getting very, very dicey right now. Are there people driving around grabbing kids? People, you have to stand up and take note, especially if you have children, because the police cannot be everywhere. And obviously there's something going on here, right? One child was KILLED, and then this child is now missing. Like, what's going on? What is going on? Is there a serial KILLER out there, or a serial, kidnapper out there? Someone taking children? I mean, there's so much going on in the society, and they're just layering it on top of people going through all these hardships. They are targeting people's children now. And you have to be vigilant. Don't let your kid out. Look what happened in St. Thomas. That guy got 23 years for doing what he did to those underage kids. That should not happen. He should not be released. Because if he's in his 30s and he gets 23 years, up for parole in 15, 16 years, he will be a strong person when he's out and repeat the offense again. He should be put away for life to protect society. I don't know how they come up with these things after doing these brutal acts to children. They end up getting 23 years, probably out in half, to repeat the same acts all over again. It's just not fair to the kids and to the parents. And the thing is, the child has to stay in the same area and go to the same school. Government should assist them in relocating and going to a different school, different area. And I would say to every parent out there, or every caregiver, every Jamaican who wants to make a positive impact on helping children, especially the ones that are going missing, you can support or volunteer to organizations that work towards the safety of children and raise awareness, through responsible storytelling. Go on your Instagram, go on TikTok, and talk to your neighbors, talk to friends, talk to co-workers. How can we protect the children? How can we come together and create a group that can make a positive impact? Promote educational initiatives focused on the child protection, because this is a serious issue in Jamaica, right? The kids are out and about and they're just left to the mercy, like especially for children going to school. We need school buses that pick up children, right? And drop children off. Of course, a parent caregiver has to be there, right? To pick up the child. We need to safeguard these children. We need to provide buses for them. That's one step of making the children a bit safer than navigating these dangerous streets.